Hello, everybody. Checking sound real quick, making sure it's good. Hello, everybody. All right, so how are you guys doing today? It is 7/29/2025. The time is 3:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over here on the bright and beautiful East Coast of the United States. Hello, George. Hello, Richard. Hello, Brookfishin. Hello, everybody who's checking in. Please remember to hit that like button. Also, if you see we have a top fans, those top fans are for people who communicate and to do stuff in the chat. And you can get points in the chat room and hopefully take away Richard's crown. Just joking. Okay, guys. So, anyways, I have y'all looking at EMSC. And as you can see, these are the earthquakes which have occurred today. So we're looking back, and this is the 28th. Macquarie Island region has been going off all the way up until today. So we are going to take a look at this area again. Then we note that the Red Sea has had a 5.1. Nicobar Islands region, India, has had a 5.0, a 5.0. South of Fiji Islands has had a 5.8 and a 6.6. Now, if y'all remember a few days ago, I said to watch Fiji. Fiji leads over into Chile. So, we are going to take a look at these earthquakes here on Google Earth. I already have them imported into my Google Earth here. And we are going to take a look at where these earthquakes are occurring, and I'm going to tell you about each location. So, I will not be able to check the chat room, but I will check after each little update to see what's going on in the chat. All right, you guys. So here we go. We have had, as you can tell, all of these earthquakes in the Macquarie Islands. All right? We had a 6.9 earthquake over here. This is the same region as we had an earthquake yesterday. However, this one is on the opposite side of this boundary. So the Macquarie Islands region, this happened on July 28th with a depth of approximately 10 kilometers. However, this one shows it to be 31 kilometers deep. The quake was preceded by a magnitude 6.2 event on July 26th, followed by a 6.7 quake reported on July 29th at a shallow depth. This shallow focus increases potential for notable ground shaking and aftershocks, though no tsunami threat has been reported so far. The 6.9 earthquake does match USGS and EMSC. USGS confirmed it as a preliminary report reviewed by a seismologist, so the magnitude and details are there. The Macquarie Island region lies on a complex tectonic boundary zone between the Australian plate and the Pacific plate, making it a geologically active area prone to strong earthquakes. The geology of the area, Macquarie Island, is located about halfway between New Zealand and Antarctica in the Southern Ocean. It is part of the Macquarie Ridge Complex, a long, narrow submarine ridge that stretches south of New Zealand. The island sits along the Australian plate boundary, specifically the Macquarie Ridge, which transitions from a transform fault to a convergent boundary. This boundary is part of the larger Alpine fault system extending from the South Island of New Zealand. So we'll back up here and show y'all where South Island of New Zealand is. So this is the South Island here, this is the North Island here, and the Alpine fault runs along this way. So when we come back in here, we can see this is the Australian Pacific transform boundary, and this is an oceanic transform fault there. The transform fault in the north, horizontal plate movement. Convergent subduction zone in the south is where plates collide and one subducts. The combination results in a complex strike-slip and compressional tectonics. Macquarie Island is one of the few places on Earth where deep oceanic crust and mantle rocks are exposed above sea level. The island is composed largely of basalts from mid-ocean ridge volcanism, gabbros, and peridites, which is upper mantle rock. These rocks formed at a spreading center and were uplifted due to ongoing tectonic convergence. The island is currently rising due to compression along the plate boundary. It is heavily faulted and fractured, evidence of tectonic deformation. The region frequently experiences strong to major earthquakes, 6 to 8.0 earthquakes. These are strike-slip in nature, though thrusting and oblique slip events are also recorded due to the complex stress regime. Tsunamis are rare but possible due to the shallow crustal movements and oceanic location. So the area, which, as you have just noted, has a transform boundary. The plates that are involved are the Australian plate and the Pacific plate. The island rock type is exposed ocean crust, basalt, gabbro, and peridot. The seismic risk is high, and it has frequent large earthquakes. And this is one of the few places with exposed oceanic lithosphere on land. So these are all the earthquakes that occurred today. These are ongoing. This is a 5.0, 5.0, 5.4, 4.6, 5.1, 5.1, 5.4, and a 6.0 here. And that's the 6.9 there. The 6.0, I believe, occurred right before the 6.9. Yeah, except that they have it as a 5.8 now in EMSE. Both of these were deep earthquakes, so I would expect to see more earthquake activity. There was also a 5.8 yesterday. So this area is shaking and shaking and shaking. So we are going to go on from here now. Let me check chat real quick. Okay, I don't see anything, but Richard says my fault is called the Chidabukto fault. Okay, so moving on to our next earthquake is the Red Sea. So we're going to the Red Sea, as there was a bigger earthquake over here in the Red Sea today. We're going to show you the biggest one, which occurred, was a 5.1. Now the Red Sea is over here, Saudi Arabia area. And this earthquake occurred today at 12:04 UTC time. It was a magnitude 5.1 earthquake, and it occurred in the Red Sea. It was located about 152 kilometers west-southwest of Jizan, Saudi Arabia, and 102 kilometers west-southwest of Khorasan, with a local time of 15:04 in Saudi Arabia. The Red Sea lies within a rift zone and transform fault system, so moderate earthquakes like magnitude 5 are not unheard of. Such events are usually of low impact on land, especially offshore. Historically, large quakes in nearby fault systems, the 1995 Gulf of Aqaba and 1969 Sharm el-Sheikh, which was a 6.6, have occurred along the Dead Sea transform system. At 10 kilometers deep in offshore location, the shaking on land near Jizan or Khorasan might have been modest. There's no indication of reported damage or tsunami consistent with lower impact marine event, and this one was shallow. The geology of the southern Red Sea, which is where this 5.1 occurred, reflects an active and complex rift tectonic environment. Here's okay, so this is the Red Sea Rift. The Red Sea is a classic example of young ocean basin formed by continental rifting. It is part of the Red Sea Rift system, where the African plate is diverging from the Arabian plate. This rifting began about 30 million years ago, which is the Oligocene. and is ongoing, gradually creating new oceanic crust in the central Red Sea. The earthquake occurred in the southern part of the Red Sea off the coast of southwestern Saudi Arabia, near the city of Jizan and Farasan Islands. The region is situated above a spreading center, essentially a submarine volcanic ridge where new crust is being formed. The midline of the Red Sea is a spreading center with volcanic activity, hydrothermal vents, and thin oceanic crust. It features transform faults and normal faults, accommodating extensional tectonics. The spreading rate is modest, about 1 to 2 centimeters per year. The margins of the Arabian coastline are made up of Precambrian Arabian Shield, which is igneous and metamorphic basement rocks, covered by younger sedimentary rocks, marine and continental deposits from the Mesozoic and Cenozoic eras. Farasan Islands is composed of coral reefs, limestone, and carbonate platforms. These uplifted marine platforms reflect regional tectonic activity and sea level changes. The volcanism and geothermal activity in the area, the Red Sea, is seismically and volcanically active. There are known submarine volcanoes, rift-related fissures, and geothermal gradients. The seafloor spreading is accompanied by magma intrusion, forming dikes and basaltic flows. Earthquakes in this area are mostly due to normal faulting or crust pulling apart. Occasional strike-slip movement along transformed segments. The depth of 10 kilometers of this earthquake is typical for upper crustal events associated with active rifting. So, as we can see, this is the 5.1 which occurred here. So we'll take a look because these are all the earthquakes that have occurred. So there is a small swarm going on here. This is the 4.3, 4.6, 4.8, 4.3, the 5.1, 4.3, and a 4.4. This is the Farasan Islands over here. And this one here is Dahalak, Tabir. So this is Nora Gabihu and Dahalak. So that is about the islands in the Red Sea. This is about the earthquakes which has occurred here. This is the African-Arabian divergent boundary. This here is a continental rift boundary. And as we can see, here are the volcanoes which were discussed. You can't find a fault with Rebecca, huh? Oh, I've got plenty of faults, trust me. Ho, 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 my goodness. Broke fishing, can you get a fault named after you? Well, there are some faults that are unnamed, so, you could ask them. Alrighty. Our next earthquakes that we are going to discuss is the Nicobar Islands earthquakes, India region. And the reason this is important is because this area is still shaking. So I believe we did talk about this the other day, but we are going to discuss this again. So as you can see, this is the 5.0 and then there was a 4.8. So this is the region here. And this transform boundary. This one here is a divergent boundary. And this is our Australian Sunda convergent boundary over here. And this is also a subduction zone. Then you have the Andaman and Nicobar Islands up here and Barron Volcano. So this area here, the Nicobar Islands are part of the Andaman and Nicobar Archipelago and are located in a geologically complex and seismically active zone due to the interaction of major tectonic plates. The Nicobar Islands lie in the convergent boundary between the Indo-Australian Plate, the Burma Microplate, and the Sunda Plate. The Sunda Plate is part of the Eurasian Plate, and the Indo-Australian Plate is moving northeast. This region is part of the Sunda subduction zone, which is the subduction zone over here, where the Indian Plate is subducting beneath the Burma Plate at approximately 6 centimeters per year. The subduction process generates frequent earthquakes and tsunamis. The region is one of the most earthquake-prone zones in the Indian subcontinent. I want to say subconscious. Part of the Alpine Belt, the third most seismically active region in the world after the Pacific Ring of Fire and the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Numerous interplate thrust earthquakes occur due to the stress accumulation on the plate boundary. Volcanic activity is present in the Andaman chain. Barren Island is an active volcano, although no volcanoes exist on the Nicobar Islands themselves. Geologic composition of the island is primarily composed of ophiolites, fragments of oceanic crust and upper mantle uplifted during tectonic collision. Fish sediment, which is deep marine sandstone, shales, and conglomerates. Limestone and coral reefs common along coastlines indicating uplifted marine origins, and terrace formations and uplifted coral platforms indicate tectonic uplift associated with magnetothrust quakes. Let me get a drink of my coffee here. Notable geologic features of this area are uplift in subsidence after the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake, which was an M9.1 to 9.3. The southern Nicobar Islands subsided by 1 to 3 meters, while parts of the Andamans uplifted. The fault zones, the Great Nicobar Fault and the West Andaman Fault, are key active features. Tsunami potential of the region's shallow focus earthquakes and rapid vertical seafloor motion make it highly capable of generating tsunamis. Frequent to moderate strong earthquakes of 5 to 7, major events of over 8 are less frequent but catastrophic. Sparse population and limited infrastructure contribute to moderate risk of life but high environmental vulnerability. Seismic hazards classify the Nicobar Island Zone 5, the highest seismic risk zone in India. So this was our 2 earthquakes for the day. This is the Andaman Sea, the Nicobar Islands, and the Barren Islands, and this is the area where these 2 earthquakes occurred. Give me 1 second. Hello? 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 Jonathan who? You can stop calling my phone. You're a scammer. There, done. Okay. Trying to sell me some health insurance. I already got some. Okay. All right. We will next move on to our latest and greatest earthquake which occurred, which was a 6.6 south of Fiji Islands. Now, there was a 5.8 and then a 6.6. Now, I cannot tell you that the 5.8 was a foreshock for the 6.6 because both were deep. So these are both considered primary earthquakes. So this was the 6.6 here, and this was the 5.8 here. The 5.8 was 585 kilometers deep. The 6.6 was 575 kilometers deep. So when we pull back from this area here, we can see they are out here in the middle. This here is the East Law Spreading Center, divergent boundary. This over here is also a subduction zone, and it is the Pacific Australian convergent boundary. When we come over here, we have an oceanic transform fault, divergent boundary, a divergent boundary which is also the North Fiji Basin Spreading Center. Then we have the Pacific Australian convergent boundary here. When we go up here and we check this one, this is the Fortuna Spreading Center, divergent boundary. And about this earthquake, this area lies in the Fiji-Tonga subduction zone. The geology south of the Fiji Islands is one of the most geologically complex and active regions on Earth, the Southwest Pacific Subduction Zone. This area lies within the Fiji-Tonga Subduction Zone, which is part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. Subduction of the Pacific Plate. The Pacific Plate is subducting westward beneath the Indo-Australian Plate at a high rate, up to 24 centimeters per year, one of the fastest on Earth. This subduction occurs along the Tonga Trench, which extends south of Fiji. The earthquake's depth of 575 kilometers for the 6.6 places it within the subducting slab of the Pacific Plate, not at the surface boundary. Such deep earthquakes are known as intraslab events, occurring due to internal deformation of the cold sinking plate. These are often caused by phase transformation from olivine to spinel to ringwoodite, or slab pull related stress. The geological feature of this area is the Tonga Trench, a deep oceanic trench where subduction begins. Earthquakes here can be very deep and strong. The Fiji Platform, a microplate with active tectonics, includes volcanic islands, seafloor spreading zones, and fault systems. The Lau Basin is a back arc basin with spreading ridges and volcanic activity west of the trench. Common here due to cold slab diving into the mantle is deep focus earthquakes. Some reach depths of over 650 kilometers. Due to the great depth, this earthquake didn't pose any tsunami risk, and it didn't displace the seafloor enough to generate a tsunami. The depth and location of this earthquake suggests the plate is being pulled deep into the mantle, maintaining its rigid structure enough to store and suddenly release stress. These deep quakes provide insight into mantle rheology and slab dynamics, not just surface plate tectonics. This earthquake occurred within the subducting Pacific Plate, well below Fiji region. It's a deep focus intraslab earthquake, part of the Tonga Subduction Zone system. The area is known for frequent, deep, and large earthquakes, but usually without major surface effects. So, there we have it for the large earthquakes that are coming in from EMSC. Let's check and make sure there is nothing else so far. And now we are going to go take a look at Canada. Actually, we're not going to look at Canada. We're going to go take a look at EMSC real quick. I mean, not EMSC, Oregon Live, because I don't know. I didn't see anything earlier today for the East Coast, but I wanted to check anyway. And then we'll go on to Canada. So there does not appear to be anything new on the East Coast. This one was the day before yesterday, and we spoke about that one already. And there was a 1.5 in Oklahoma yesterday. This is the day before yesterday, sorry. And a 1.8 in Halls Crossing, Utah on the 27th. This one was yesterday. There was a 1.7, 9 kilometers northwest of Ridgely, Tennessee. And this one was yesterday also. There was a 1.9, 5 kilometers east of Marston, Missouri. So I believe those two were mentioned to me yesterday, and I had not looked them up. Okay, so let's go on to Canada here. And I wanted to show y'all something because yesterday I had stated, I didn't look at Oregon. Well, let me look. You know, we got to check Oregon. Nope. Wait, is there really one there? When's this? Oh my goodness! You guys, there was 1.2! July 29th, 2025. 4 kilometers southwest of Oregon City, Oregon. Woo! They got one. Okay, so we can see there was an earthquake in Oregon. Now that's Washington. But this was today. Thank you, Broke Fishing, for bringing that to my attention. I appreciate it. I don't look up all the little ones most of the time, but you know, it is surprising when you see Oregon actually post one to the map. Alrighty, so let's move on to Canada here. So yesterday I had told you guys that the 4.1 was a suspected industry-related event. It had not been posted on the map as an industry-related event. However, it is now, and it's considered a fluid injection event. So let's go look at this area one more time. One more time. Oh, yeah? Okay. So, this is definitely fluid-related event. Let's say fracking. Wonder if they actually blew it up. Ooh. What do we have over here? Mining. So, there was 2 industry-related events yesterday. Uh-oh. Pulled up the wrong one. Oops. Okay. So there was 2 yesterday. The other was just a 1. And it was pretty much near the same place. But we'll take a peek because it is a little bit different. It was also a fluid injection. Suspected industry-related event. This one was 30-something kilometers away from the other one. So curiosity killed the cat, and I'm going to take a peek. I don't see, this is where I thought the other one was yesterday. Because I don't see much there. However, I do see the Smoky River here. Maybe we see some down here. Yep, we got something there. So this is usually when water is pushed into the earth, it is for fracking. All right, so we have one earthquake we're going to go over from Canada for today. And this one was a 3.1 earthquake, 196 kilometers west of Port Hardy, British Columbia. Now, because we did look, we're going to see that there was a 0.8 yesterday as well. And then, day before yesterday, then there was a 0.3 yesterday, a 1.5 yesterday. Today there has been a 2.5, and there's also been a 3.1. We'll look at where the area for the 2.5 occurred, and then we'll look at the 3.1. And then I'll give you some information on this area. So we're out here. As we can see, this is an oceanic spreading rift. This is the North American Juan de Fuca convergent boundary. So we can see this here. This is Haida Gwaii. This is Graham Island, Mosby Island. Then we also have a volcano over here, which is Milbank Sound Group, which is a pyroclastic cone. So let's take a look at our next earthquake, which is a 3.1. It was 10 kilometers deep, 196 kilometers west of Port Hardy, British Columbia. And then I'm going to give you some information on both of these earthquakes and the area. So this one was just a little further back from where the other one hit. So I'm going to pull back here so y'all can see the zones here. And this was a minor earthquake. It was located offshore and at a depth of 10 kilometers, which is typical for tectonic quakes in that region. Being 196 kilometers offshore and of low magnitude, it is unlikely to have been felt by people or caused any damage. Just so you guys know, the MW stands for Moment Magnitude Scale, okay? The region west of Port Hardy, British Columbia, where this earthquake occurred, lies within a highly active tectonic zone, influenced by interaction of several major lithospheric plates. The earthquake occurred in the northeast Pacific Ocean off the coast of northern Vancouver Island. This area is geologically defined as the Juan de Fuca plate subduction. The Juan de Fuca plate is subducting beneath the North American plate along the Cascadia subduction zone. The boundary is part of the Ring of Fire, known for frequent seismic and volcanic activity. The Juan de Fuca plate moves northeastward at 2.5 to 4 centimeters per year, diving under the continent at a low angle. The Explorer plate interacts. Just north of the Juan de Fuca plate is the Explorer plate, a small tectonic fragment. Its interactions with the Juan de Fuca and Pacific plates create transform faults and microseismicity in the offshore region near the Brooks Peninsula and Cape Scott, or northwest Vancouver Island. The Queen Charlotte Fault System to the north of this area marks a strike-slip boundary between the Pacific and North American plates, similar to California's San Andreas Fault. The Vancouver Island, composed mainly of Paleozoic or Mesozoic rocks, includes volcanic arcs or Rangrella terrain, sedimentary basins or Nanaimo group, metamorphic belts. These were accredited to the continent of the Mesozoic to early Cenozoic, making the island part of a complex collage of terrains. The oceanic crust here is relatively young, formed at the Juan de Fuca Ridge. The seafloor features abysmal plains, fracture zones, and transform faults. Earthquakes here are typically the result of intraplate faulting within the oceanic plate, stress from bending flexure at the plate subducts. This area sees frequent small to moderate earthquakes, many in the magnitude of 2 to 5 range, often too small to be felt. Larger events of 6 plus are less frequent but possible, and mega thrust events of M8 have occurred in the past. The last major Cascadia megathrust earthquake was in the 1700s. Tsunami potential exists with large thrust earthquakes along the subduction interface. So, the plate type boundary here is subduction zone. So you know it's the Juan de Fuca under North America. Nearby plates to that are the Juan de Fuca, Explorer, Pacific, North American plate. This area's geologic hazards are earthquakes, tsunamis, and slow slip events. The onshore rocks that you can find are volcanic and sedimentary terrains, accreted complexes, and offshore features are young ocean crust, fracture zones, and transform faults. So, you guys, that's what I have for you so far for earthquakes today. Let's take a look at our weather, see what's going on, because I was looking earlier at the hurricanes that are taking place, and y'all cannot believe how busy the Pacific Ocean is. Now, if you look, see nothing here in the Atlantic, but voila, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 events going on in the Pacific. So this is Iona, and as of this morning, and as of right now, I believe it is a Category 3, and it has winds of 125 miles per hour. Then we have Tropical Storm Kelly. Tropical Storm Kelly has winds of 40 miles per hour. Then we have EP98. And EP98 has a 70% chance in the next 48 hours to form and 70% chance in the next 7 days. We move over here, and we have a 30% chance of a cyclone formation in the next 7 days, but through the next 48 hours, that is a 0%. Hello, Heidi Patrick. Nice to see you in chat. Then we also have EP99. And EP99 has a 90% chance in the next 7 days and an 80% chance in the next 48 hours. So that's what we have going on in the Pacific. Looks like all of them are headed away, but you know, right here is Hawaii. So we have to keep an eye on these to see exactly where they are going. So let's go down here and we'll take a look at Iona. So this is Iona. Iona is going to miss Hawaii. And then we're looking at Kelly. And Kelly's going to miss Hawaii too. Thank goodness for both. However, guess what? We need to be keeping an eye on these two back here to see which way they're going to go. Because if they aim out, they could actually be headed towards Hawaii. So, anyways, you guys, that's what I have for y'all. Now I'm going to just hang out with y'all in chat for a few minutes and see how y'all are doing today. If you have any questions, and I can see if I can try to answer them. Richard says, my corn chowder is waiting. Ooh, corn chowder, yum yum. Yes, guys, I do have a Discord. Feel free to go to the Discord, hang out and chat. That is an awesome place to be. And you'll see many of my moderators over there as well. Oh, your wife made you chili. Chili? Wait, that was me. I made chili the last few days. Corn chowder. Let me see here. I'm going to tell y'all what my weather is today, because you know what, it's been sucking. Today says it's 96 degrees and that it feels like 106, and we're still on an ongoing heat advisory. And we should hopefully see some rain today, but I don't think so. Yesterday we had a thunderstorm. I watched it pass to the north. It didn't even come here. And the night before that, I heard a thunderstorm, but I fell asleep and I didn't wake up to it. So I'm guessing we didn't get it, even though my sister said we had rain. All right, so... Oh, she finished it off? Or she ate it all? Well, that's not good. Or she finished making it. There's been a 4.4 offshore El Salvador. Okay, you guys, so I did set this so that you can, as a viewer, actually post the commands for Nightbot. But Nightbot is set every 5 minutes to give for the commands. Last night, if y'all noticed, we did a video, and as I was setting up, and we were testing Nightbot, and Nightbot wouldn't give some of the commands, even though we asked it several times. So I actually switched those into where Nightbot has to put them in chat every 7, 10, 14, and 20 minutes. So that they are set so that Nightbot doesn't spam the chat, because last night Nightbot was being a troll. That was fun though. We were busy on the back line setting it up and working on it. And hopefully that video, if any of y'all is a YouTuber and you want to know how to set up Nightbot, you'll be able to find it and be able to set it up for your own channel. Brokefish, and thanks to him, he's the reason that I have Nightbot for my channel now. And so that means that if by some reason none of my mods can make it to a live stream, I do have Nightbot, and Nightbot is set up to deal with the chat. However, I do have blocked words, so if you try to use any of the blocked words, those blocked words will not be allowed to be used in the chat room anyway. But I do appreciate my moderators. I wanted to say a big thank you to them for being here, for helping me out, for keeping the chat going, and for doing a lot of the stuff that they do behind the scenes when I'm not able to pay attention. And I also want to give a big shout out to my subscribers. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for helping me make the channel the channel that it is. All right, you guys, I think I am at the end of my live. I wanted to let y'all know, Thursday and Friday, no live stream. There will be a live stream tomorrow. There will not be a live stream on Thursday or Friday. I will try to do one on Saturday. However, I have things that I have to do on Thursday and Friday that are going to keep me from being able to be online. However, if there is anything big, I will do a update, a video update, and post it so that you will have the information, even though it might not be right at the time that the event happens. So I just wanted to let you guys know, keep an eye out in case I do a video update. I will be back tomorrow, so we'll see you all on the next live stream. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Also, my moderators are posting the different posts in chat. I know that they have posted the Discord, the PayPal. There is a fun one. I've been trying to figure it out so that we can put information in chat. One is Fire. I don't know if it's going to post it or not. The other one I'm going to try to figure out is how to get Nightbot to post earthquake data. So I will see what I can find out about that and how we can get earthquake data posted in real time. Anyways, you guys, thank you for being here today. Thank you for spending time in the live stream. I appreciate you. Also, let me see. I'm going to show you all this. So if you ever want to figure out doing commands, do not spam the commands in the chat room, though. That is one thing I'm going to say right now. Do not spam commands in the chat room, or they will be removed. All right, you guys, chat, question and answer, chat. If y'all have any questions or answers, any questions, feel free to ask them. Make sure that you put a question mark before your question. That is something I'm going to start doing in the chat room so that I can take any questions and try to answer them for you. Anyways, you guys, I love you. Thank you for being here. Richard, go eat your chowder. Brookfishin, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. George Mitchell, thank you for being here. And for everybody else, much love. God bless. Oh, and George, thank you for being here. Heidi Petrick, it is nice to see you here. Thank you. All right, you guys, I love you. And I will see y'all in valid location. Oh, you put Grant's Pass as one word. That's why. Hey, last night, you guys, George posted that he wanted to know about San Paulo, right? Weather? And it asked about Santa Paula. So when the Nightbot came in, it says that the information was for Santa Paula instead of San Paulo. So it was kind of funny. And then Nightbot dropped something else and told us if we had any questions and complaints that we could email the address. I'm going to give y'all that real quick. So there you go. If there's any questions and complaints, you can email the mod team. That's it, if it works, because I'm waiting to see if Nightbot's going to actually post it or not. Hey, Nightbot's not answering again. Okay, Nightbot, you're not behaving. Nightbot's being bad. Oh, I think maybe he's mad because I called him a troll. Yo, Nightbot. We did set, hey, Brookfishing, we set that one up as a, I broke it. I know, right? What the heck? It was working. Oh well, I'll leave the Nightbot to my mods and to everybody else. Nightbot, no more cookies. I did not put that one on a timer. I don't think. Let me check. What's on my timers? Yeah, it's not. Oh, I did it wrong. Okay, let me see here. I wrote it wrong, so it's my fault. Let's see if it works that way. It is on a timer, though. Yeah, it might not work at all if it's on a timer. Anyway, we were having fun with this last night. So if any of y'all wants to know how to set it up, there's a video that's listed if you want to set it up. Anyways, you guys, I love you. And I will see you all on the next live stream. You're going to take a picture of your corn chowder and put it on Messenger? Alrighty then. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. You guys, I have one more thing for y'all. I am going to read y'all a chapter of my book. And this is a book, The Quick Preparedness Guide. Okay? I do sell this book on Amazon. So, this is chapter 5, Things You Should Have in Your Go Bag. A well-stocked go bag should have everything you might need for survival and for any emergency you may encounter. You should have a go bag for each person in your home and one for your pets. The basics are food, water, clothing, first aid kit, tools and equipment, personal hygiene items, communication tools, and cash. You should have enough food and water to last you for around 3 days, according to the Federal Emergency Management Agency and other preparedness agencies. That way you can be self-sustaining until help arrives. When it comes to water, 1 gallon of water per person per day. Research suggests 72 ounces for women and 100 ounces for men per day. Water keeps you healthy and able to function properly and not be dehydrated. If you want, you can buy packets of water flavors to put in your water or electrolytes in packets that you can store in your go bag, especially for children who might not like to drink just water. Clothing should be weather appropriate and include durable shoes, socks, gloves, rain poncho, and hats. Pack enough clothes for cold weather in case it gets cold out. Have a good first aid kit. You never know when someone will need it. Make sure it is well stocked and include bandages, gauze, antiseptic, bandages, ace bandage, wound dressing, burn cream, personal medications, and a face shield in case you should need one. Your personal hygiene items should include wet wipes and hand sanitizer, toilet paper, toothbrush, toothpaste, feminine hygiene products, and any other personal items you may need. In your go bag, you should include duct tape, rope, flashlight, and a means to start a fire such as a lighter and matches. It is good to make sure they are waterproof brands in case it is raining. Also include a whistle for signal or an air horn. You don't have to be like my other example of someone who can't signal for help if needed. You will need to communicate, so a battery-powered arc crank emergency radio to receive news or updates, so you know what is going on. A solar charger for these devices is also a good idea. Money is also necessary. Put small denominations of cash in your bag in case ATMs and credit card machines are not working. Your go bag should be long-lasting, tough duffel bag or backpack with lots of components to organize what you are packing. Put the most essential items at the top of your bag so you can get to them faster. Take into account the weight of the bag, and if children will be carrying them, you can create lighter kits for the children. Also, if you can make use of strollers and wagons to transport heavier loads. This is if you cannot use your vehicle. Also consider labeling each bag for the person who will be using it so that each family member knows which bag to grab. You can even use different colors for each bag with their name. In thinking about 3-day go bag, it is important to plan for longer food and water storage, as the 3-day bag is good for short-term emergencies. However, you need to also plan for long-term durations, especially if you live in an area prone to natural disasters and long-term power outages. Store a variety of long-lasting food like canned foods, pasta, dehydrated fruit, freeze-dried meals, vegetables, and beans. These items have a shelf life of up to 25 years if stored properly. There are several places where you can buy kits online to substitute what you already have. You should aim to have at least a 2-week supply of food for everyone in your household. If you have enough room, try for a month. Think about what your family does and doesn't like when buying food. Store your food in a cool and dry, dark place away from sunlight and moisture. Use airtight containers or Mylar bags with oxygen and extended shelf life. Make sure you rotate and check your items regularly. Use old items and replace them with newer items. In addition to 72 hours of drinking water, store at least 1 gallon of water per person per day for 2 weeks. If you must, use large 5-gallon containers. Some areas' water may not be good enough to drink. You can invest in a water purification filter or UV filters and purification tablets. You may also need to boil water, and a camping stove or portable burner will be useful. Other items you should have include lighting, flashlights, headlamps, and lanterns. Solar-powered and hand-cranked lights are best if you don't want to rely on batteries. If you use items that use batteries, make sure you have extra batteries. If you have no electricity, you will still need warmth. Mylar blankets are useful when it is cold. You can also buy emergency blankets. Usually sold in the tent section in Walmart or in outdoor gear stores. Some people's homes may be destroyed and unsafe to stay in, but if you don't leave, you will need a tent. Know how to set it up and practice making an outdoor shelter. A multi-tool is a great tool to have and comes with features like pliers, knives, screwdrivers, and scissors. It can be used for emergency situations like building shelters, preparing food, repairing gear, and other things. Other things to store are medications, pet supplies, and something to do for fun. So that is chapter 5 of my quick emergency guide. This is a book that I wrote this last year, the last few years. Put it together. It is a quick guide, so it is not a thick guide. It is easy to be folded up and shoved into a bag, and it has an area for notes in the back. It is 51 pages long, so it is a short, quick guide. Anyways, you guys, thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for being here, Brokefish and Nightbot. Nightbot. Richard, let me see here, George, and Heidi Patrick, and everyone else who's been here today. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your time. Thank you, and I will see you all on the next live stream. And for everybody who checked in here today to watch today, I appreciate you. Anyways, you guys, much love, God bless, and I will see you all tomorrow. Anyways, you guys, have a great day.